Hey you guys, it's Megan, and today's episode of Vlogmas is going to be a chatty video of a topic that I have just been so curious to hear other people's thoughts on, because it's really starting to get to me and like wear me down. So as the title suggests, I want to know why beauty gurus only talk about new things and never use or show or talk about older products that they used to be obsessed with. I am including myself in this because I definitely fall into this trap too of wanting to show the newest stuff, what's been just released. Like, we all want to be on like the cutting edge of like what the next hot thing is, but it comes at the expense of actual money, of people spending all their money to get this new stuff only for it to be old within a week. Like, it's crazy how much demand there is from the consumer for more, but do we really want more? Like, thinking of ColourPop, for instance, a new collection practically every day. It is just absurd, and it honestly really reminds me of when I first started getting into YouTube in the good old like 2010, 2009 time frame. Man, 10 years ago is when I started watching YouTube in high school. And MAC was releasing new collections like every week or at least every month, and it was like you had to keep up with their collections. It was like the thing that everyone talked about. Everyone had like the newest MSFs, the newest blushes, eyeshadows, lip glosses. It was everything. But then other brands came out that people were interested in. There was more like choice for the consumer. And MAC's limited edition collections weren't as sought after or interesting to people anymore. And I feel like that much new all the time causes consumers to burn out. And I've never been one to really like jump into limited edition collections. I don't know why. I just don't normally get super excited about limited edition stuff. But I know that that's a huge market for so many brands, and I feel like ColourPop is the best example of that these days. Like, you can't get your hands on something from ColourPop that sells out. Like, they may never come back with that palette or that Super Shock shadow or a lip liner that I'm in love with. Is called Boys Town, and I cannot find it anywhere. I guess it was limited edition, and it just like pains me that so much makeup is limited edition. And that's where I think this whole thing of beauty gurus only talking about like new stuff really is a problem, because if they're talking about new stuff that is most likely limited edition, or there's a finite amount of it, like it's not permanent in the company's line, once it sells out or once it's not available anymore, they don't really have like a reason to show it or talk about it if they're not basically selling it. And when I put links down in the description box, that's one, to help you guys to be able to find the things I'm talking about, but also it does make me a small commission. Very, very small, but still it is a way that I can make some extra money for my YouTube channel. The company that I use it through, they probably make 10 times the amount or 90 times the amount that they pay me when I get a few cents of people clicking through and purchasing. So I remember back in the good old days of YouTube that people would just be like, they would explain the color. They would be like, it's like a cool tone taupe, or it's a matte like chocolatey brown. And you didn't have to have the exact palette or the exact lipstick or whatever it is that they're talking about, because they would more so explain the color, not just be like, get out your Urban Decay palette and use this shade and this shade and this shade. And I mean, of course, all of us can use similar colors in our collection to what the people we're watching show us, but I do think it's like a different mindset to explain a color rather than say, get this specific palette and use this in your crease and use this on your lid. So the one example that I think we all know of, is the Urban Decay Naked Palette. The original, the OG. This was discontinued last year for who knows what reason. It is gorgeous. Oh my gosh, poor brush. It is the palette that started it all. It really is like the first big makeup palette that I really remember anyone talking about on YouTube, and I only got this last year when it was being like really heavily discounted. I think I got this for half off, which is awesome, but no one ever shows this anymore unless they're doing like a pan that palette or something, which is really inspiring to see people use up makeup. But do you ever see someone like, I'm gonna do a tutorial with the Naked palette today, like pull out your Naked palette, because we all have it. Like, that's the thing. We all are like encouraged to buy pretty much the same thing from many different YouTubers. Once one YouTuber starts like really recommending something, a lot of people start trying it, then more and more people recommend it. And so then you buy it because there's been so many touch points that you've just been reminded of this thing that you just absolutely need, or your life is over. Like, you absolutely need this thing that you have heard about 10,000 times. And it definitely like wears you down. So I don't blame any of us for giving in to buying things that we hear a lot about. But if then you never use it because the YouTuber or YouTubers that you watch never talk about it again because they moved on to the next thing, so then you need to buy that next thing because now you can't keep up, and it's just like an endless cycle because you just have to keep buying the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. But like, the thing that you just bought is already old news, and how is that possible? Because it was just the hottest thing 5 days ago. Like, it is mind-blowing how big this industry is and how I guess gullible we are as consumers. I don't even know how to explain it, and that's why I'm so frustrated. And I don't want to do this to you guys, and I don't want this to happen to me, where I'm just like so influenced to buy something that I ultimately never use because I never really see anyone using it. Which shouldn't be the reason I use things. I should use them because I like them, not because I'm reminded to use them. But you know what I mean? Like, when you see someone using, when this first came out, every tutorial was with the Naked palette. So it was amazing because you had so much inspiration, and you could be like, okay, use Buck in the Crease with Toasted and then Creep and blah, blah, blah. Like, you just had so many ideas and so many videos that you could turn to for looks with it. But now, years later, like, this is a pretty old palette at this point, you might still have it, you probably still have it in your collection, but you never really hear people reminding you to use it. And I really love people that do Throwback Thursday videos using like older collections of makeup or older palettes and things like that. And I've been watching a lot of that girl Shay XO's videos like that she's done with the Naked 1 and Naked 2 palettes. And it's just really cool and exciting to see how many different videos and tutorials there were with the same palette. And I don't blame people for wanting to try new things and expose consumers and their viewers to new products to try, because there's so much beautiful makeup, and I definitely have shown a lot of pretty things that I don't really like follow back up on. Like this NARS palette, this is the Make Up Your Mind palette that I thought would be permanent because it's just like a really nice full face palette. I really liked it, but I never did a video on it after showing it in like a haul or something. I never did a video on it because you can't get your hands on it anymore. Like, it completely sold out and you can't buy it anywhere. And should that be a reason that I don't do a video on it? Because there has to be thousands of people that bought it, maybe not thousands of people that watch me, but there could be a handful or 100 people out there that watch my channel that also have this palette or that have similar colors in their collection. Like, pretty much all these colors are very dupable and there's nothing super unique, maybe these shimmery shades, but you can find something similar enough in your collection if you have a lot of makeup like most of us do. So why did I not do the tutorial? Because I always feel like if it's limited edition and it's not available anymore, I shouldn't talk about it because people can't buy it if they want to. Like, I shouldn't only make videos to encourage people to buy more things. Like, it's something I really struggle with my channel because I'm definitely a shopaholic. I love buying things. I love makeup. I love stuff. I want it all. But I should appreciate what I have. I should show you guys like different ideas and looks with palettes that you might have purchased because I showed them. And or makeup, lipstick, skincare, anything like that. I want to show you guys that I'm using and loving the things that I have shown you at least once, if not multiple times. And that's definitely something that has weighed on me, that I'm not proud of doing that to you guys, that I don't really show you things that might have been limited edition just because you can't buy them anymore. Like, I don't think that's a good reason, because you very well might have purchased it off of my recommendation. And I want to, in the coming year in 2020, to really show you guys that I'm using my things and not just consuming and buying and buying and buying. And lately I have got so many eyeshadow palettes, it sickens me. I love them all, and it makes me feel bad saying that because I spent a lot of money on all of them, but it's just too much for any one person to reasonably use every day. Or I don't even wear makeup every single day, but I do for the most part. And it just bothers me that I don't really show love to all of my things because I'm always showing love to only the newest thing. And like I mentioned, the newest thing becomes old news within days, if not hours. And the most recent example that I can think of is the Conspiracy palette. And millions of us got one of these, or tried to get one of these at least, and it was a miracle I even got my hands on this, and I feel very fortunate to have done so. But have you seen anyone show this after like that initial week or weeks? I have used it only a handful of times. I haven't seen anyone that I follow use this after their initial review, and that doesn't mean they're not using it in their personal life. And something I hear a lot of YouTubers say is that they don't want to use limited edition makeup in their videos because their viewers can't buy it. So that's basically what I just said to you guys about this NARS palette, which is why I haven't used it in a tutorial or in a video. And I've seen comments saying, why? Like, we bought it because you talked about it, and now you're not going to show more looks or more inspiration of you using that product because other people can't buy it. Like, it's just that constant consumerism cycle that companies love. Like, ColourPop is rolling in the money with all of these releases and all of like the limited edition stuff, because once you create that urgency, people will keep buying. Like, if they really want it, they will buy it, and it doesn't matter how many times you come out with collections. If they are really like looped into that cycle, they will probably purchase it. And YouTube influences so much purchasing, and it's a really interesting aspect of business now, because it's honestly really cheap to pay for an influencer to talk about your product, or just to send someone your product for free and then for them to talk about it and create revenue for your company. And companies sending product to people cost them little to nothing. Like, let's be honest, it's not like generous of them to send you things because that's benefiting them and making them money. It does feel really cool when a brand that I love sends me things, and I do feel like that, wow, they really like me. But it's not about that. Like, they're trying to make money, and you're like a relatable person to your audience that trusts you and trusts your opinion and your taste. And hopefully influencers only share things that they really love and really believe in. But there's always that fine line of things that are free to you or that you're getting paid to show. You might feel more positively about them than things that you bought yourself, because spending your hard-earned money on something is a really big difference compared to getting it for free. So that's like a whole nother story. But I'm just like stressed and frustrated at myself and at all influencers for feeling like we can't use things because people can't buy them, even though many people have bought them. Like, I feel like I want to bring back the Naked palette and do like a million tutorials with it, even though people have probably already seen it all with it. I would just really love to hear your opinions on it, either as a creator or as a viewer. Do you like when influencers show things that might have been limited edition that you can't buy anymore? Do you like when they show you new looks, or really just show the palette or the product at all, even if you can't buy it? Like, does that make you angry if you didn't buy it, that they're now using it? And like, I don't know, like, does it make people angry? That's what I just wonder. Like, I don't know why that would make anyone angry unless they just missed out on it completely and they really wanted it and it reminds them of how they missed out. Like, I just don't really know. I can see both sides of it, but I think to benefit us as consumers and people that have spent a lot, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on makeup, we should be getting our money's worth out of it and not just buying the next greatest thing, because we never want to look back on what was once the hot thing because no one talks about it anymore, or you can't buy it anymore. Like, if you can't buy it anymore, why does that mean you can't use it? Like, it takes a long ass time to run out of makeup. Like, I drive myself crazy with that. Like, I don't want to use certain products because I don't want to run out. Girl, it's gonna take you months, if not years, to ever run out of those particular products. Like, you don't need to worry. It lasts a long ass time. So, I don't know. It is just a fascinating aspect of YouTube and the beauty world and industry to me, and I would just love to hear your thoughts on it. This wasn't like the most concise video. I never have concise videos, but I just really wanted to like stream of consciousness talk about this, and I'm like sweating up in this sweater because I'm just so passionate about this and just really like in awe of this like whirlwind of beauty on YouTube and how much it honestly has changed over the past decade that I've been watching. And yes, it was always about buying and trying and using like the best makeup and stuff, but I feel like in the past it was more about like artistry and like creating looks and showing the average woman or man how to use makeup and color and how to blend and like technique. And I don't really know what it is now. Like, I connect with you guys on deeper levels than just makeup, but I do like showing you things to try and buy and things to like treat yourself to, or someone that you love. And it's definitely something that I am conscious of. I've become more conscious of it lately, and I would just really love to know your thoughts on this topic and any feelings that you have about it. If you disagree with me, that is absolutely fine. I just had to get my feelings out because it's something I really obviously feel strongly about, and I just don't really understand why, myself included, beauty influencers don't use products that you can't really buy anymore, or that isn't like brand spanking new. So I really want to get out of that habit next year and like going forward, even in this year. I can't believe it's almost 2020. That's insane. But next year I really want to do more like shop my stash. Like, I really want to spend less next year. I have big goals for next year, way bigger than this year. I really need to rein in my spending on makeup and things in general, but makeup is my main weakness. So I think you'll be seeing a lot of products and palettes being used that you might not see very much on YouTube, but if you have them in your collection, you'll be able to get inspired, or if you have similar things in your collection, you can recreate the looks. Or I feel like YouTube is just about inspiration. At least that's how I want to think about it now, not just that I have to have the exact thing that they have and look exactly like them or whatever. Like, it's just about being inspired and seeing like makeup, which makes me really happy, and seeing it being used in different ways. So I hope this was interesting and maybe thought-provoking. I would really love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It's Vlogmas, so you will be seeing this face every single day until Christmas, which I have been enjoying so much doing all these videos for you guys, and I hope you've been liking them. And thank you just so much for your time and for hearing me out and sharing in this crazy world of YouTube with me. I would love to know how long you've been watching YouTube as well. But I think that's all I have to say, so I will see you guys really soon. Bye.